What's up, everyone? Bassmaster Classic predictions. Okay, I did a video the other day, and it's weird. I did the video, and it was a little bit about Livescope, and it was a little bit about this, and man, I got a lot of stuff coming back from it. Like a lot of comments, a lot of things. I'd say most everyone understood what I was talking about. There's still some guys, very few, but there's still some guys I think that kind of like, they still can't grasp what I'm saying. I think there's guys that just, they want to be on one side of the fence or the other. I'm gonna get to the Bassmaster Classic predictions here in a second. But I want to say this because I think I just don't think some guys are getting it. You don't have to just 100% love something or 100% hate something. Okay? You don't have to. I can name a million things. Like, I love fishing. There's some things I don't like about it. Doesn't mean if I talk about one of those things, it doesn't mean you're like, oh my gosh, that guy hates fishing. No. There's a lot of things I love about fishing. There's some things I don't like about it. It's okay to have opinions, and you're not floating in the middle. There's no middle. We're just having a discussion. So when I talk about Livescope, I can say I use it. I can say I like it. I can also say some other things, that I'm worried about it. I'm nervous about it. I'm scared about it for the future. I can say all those things. I've said them from day one. My stance on Livescope has never changed, ever. I don't know how else I can say that. Like, people are like, oh, you said all this, now you're backtracking. No, I'm not. I didn't even say anything was bad. I've always said, now granted, you might not have seen all my videos, but I've always said, I've just, man, my number one thing from the get-go, my number one was that if I was a young kid now trying to make it in the sport, I don't think I could make it without Livescope. I don't think I could have made it. If you take me right now, or my 19-year-old self, and put me in trying to make it in the sport right now with what I had available at the time, because we just didn't have any money and I didn't have the means that all these other people have. And at the time, I always said that I didn't have to beat technology. I just had to beat other people. That's not the case anymore. Technology is part of the game. Good or bad, I don't really know yet. I'm just saying I couldn't have afforded the technology when I was 19. And at that point in time, I probably couldn't have won as much. And the only way that I've made it now is because I won a bunch of tournaments when I was younger and was able to make money. Okay? I don't know if I could have made money, which means I don't know if I could have kept going in the sport. That's my number one thing. It's always been my number one. My second, and it's very close, is I'm worried about the future. I'm just scared to death that we get so technically advanced that it becomes something that's not fishing. Some of y'all think we're there now. I don't know what to tell y'all. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. I don't know, because it's pretty good. Now, I will say one thing. It's not perfect. It's not everything. I can promise you it. Where I'm at right now, I'm at Toledo Bend, and let me tell you something. I did it a lot today because it rained on me all day, and it was cloudy, and I wanted to go do something different. And let me tell you something. It wasn't exactly easy to go do it. Like, it was a pretty horrible day. It's a pretty horrible day anyways. But I just wanted to clear that up. Second, on the Bassmaster Classic predictions. Man, you know how they always tell you, man, I hope I don't get canceled for YouTube for this, or like get into this like Illuminati thing or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to say. But you know how they always tell you, like, on your phone, that like when you talk around your phone, like phone does ads or does like videos or things of something you've been talking about. Well, by golly, I clicked on, I think it was a TikTok or something, just for a second. In the first video, They were asking Bassmaster guys like their predictions. And we did this video. I did the video the other day, and then we did the pick'em, the open pick'em fantasy deal. And I said, now usually I go Livescope picks only, right? That's what I usually do. Just joking around because I don't really care, and I win every year in fantasy, and so it's fun because I don't care and I still win. And I beat Matt up all the time. Poor Matt Pinger. Now, I said that I thought it would be one on the bank. Now, everyone else started going off about, the Livescope this and Livescope that. And I was like, man, I've been there. I've been there. Now, I'm not saying I live there, but I've been there quite a bit this time of year. I really know it in April. But in March, it seems like this time, it just seems like a lot of fish are shallow. And the way to catch them, like there's only one way. Not there's only one way. What I mean by that is there's a way to catch them, and it seems like they're all doing it. I don't know. Like I get on some of these other lakes, like Rayburn and Toledo, and so some of these lakes are really weird. Like you can catch one. Guy can go out there and catch them in 20 foot while you're catching them on beds. Like one of the tournaments I won, a Toyota one year, I pretty much sight fished the entire time. And then the final day, I caught some like on a shad spawn. Then I sight fished some up. And then my big one came out deep and I caught like a 10 pounder and I won it. Now it wasn't crazy deep, but it was definitely offshore. So like you can do that. These other lakes don't, or at least Grand doesn't seem that way. Now I know the north end and the south end maybe, but like a lot of people are putting a lot of things and just overlooking. They're just putting Livescope out there and going, oh, okay, it's going to be Livescope and every lake's doing this. Well, not every lake sets up that way. I know Grand does, but I'm just telling you, my prediction, I don't think it's going to be done that way. Not for 3 days. Now, someone might go do it. I could be wrong. But I'm saying right now, I think most of the fish are going to be caught like kind of on the bank. Now, I'm putting this video out there like early in the morning, which I always put my videos at 1. But I have no problem. I'm gonna like, if I'm gonna make a prediction, I got to get it out there before it happens. So this video, if nothing else, it'll be time stamped. I might put it at 8 o'clock in the morning. That way I'm gonna be like, hey, I said it, right? So I got to work on it because it's late right now. But I had to because I've seen 2 videos, and the other video was they were asking him how many fish they would catch on Livescope. Now, there are some guys that aren't Livescopers, and they said 0. There are some guys that are Livescopers, and they said 0. Another guy I was shocked about, he only said 30, and one guy said 70. And so, it's interesting. I mean, I'm really interested. I can't wait. And I can't watch most of it. I'm going to have to call some people because I'm going to be on the lake tomorrow practicing for another event. But I still think my prediction is this. I think it's going to be one mainly on the bank. I do. Unless there's one outlier. There just might be one guy who figures out. I think some of this stuff too is hard with Livescope. I know some of these lakes, and it's hard to go do it even on lakes I know. And so I think it would be tough for some of those guys to like, since they've never been there, to like figure it out. Because a lot of times a tournament might be won on Livescope, but it might be won by Livescope from like a local. Like I'm talking about team tournaments. From like locals that like have kind of like messed with it now for a couple of years and understand when to do it and where to do it and stuff like that. It's not easy like that. Like sometimes, like when these tournaments come to Rayburn and Toledo and some of these places before Livescope, team tournaments sometimes would have bigger bags than those guys because we kind of knew like there was just it is what it is. Like sometimes team tournaments have bigger bags than like when professional guys show up because, some of these guys know what they're doing, know where to look for. Like they fish obscure stuff. stuff that you wouldn't be able to find in a couple days. Man, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting that the videos aren't just about baits or things or anything like that. It's like, it's Livescope driven. Like, rarely do they try to ask about a bait, but really they go back to like talking about Livescope. It's pretty crazy. That's where it's evolved to now. That it was about all these different things, right? All these things about fishing. There's 100 things about fishing. I just now realized this. Like 100 things, questions you could ask. And it goes back to Livescope. That's telling right there. That's telling that that's the biggest topic. I know it's been the biggest topic. I'm just saying it's crazy that like, maybe that's why guys don't like it, or some guys do. But think about it. All these things for all these years, no one asked about any of that. It's all just about Livescope. I'm kind of interested in too. All right. Get this video edited. I want to hear y'all. I want to see if I'm right. I might have just got this. I might have just got beat up on this one. I mean, I might look like an idiot tomorrow. That's right. It won't be the first time. See y'all.